In May of 1985, Mitchell Carlton Sims was quite unhappy with his supervisor for withholding part of a bonus check and resigned from his position as store manager of the West Columbia Domino's Pizza. Sims would tell his girlfriend at the time of his newfound resentment of the pizza chain, allegedly telling her he wanted to kill his ex-supervisor with explosives. In mid-November of 1985, Sims and his girlfriend moved to Charleston. Sims obtained a part-time job as a driver at the Domino's in Hanahan, as well as a second job at a carpet cleaning service. Despite this, Sims began having financial problems, and when his truck broke down in late November, he borrowed money from a coworker to have it repaired. On December 1st, 1985, Sims' truck broke down again. Sims was unable to afford to have it repaired, so he informed Domino's that he could not deliver pizzas. Sometime after midnight on December 3rd, Sims walked from his trailer to the Domino's in Hanahan. Sims tied up the two employees, Gary Melky and Chris Sayre, who were working, shot them, and robbed the store. Both were shot execution style. Sayre died at the scene, and Melky later succumbed to his injuries after identifying Sims as his assailant. On December 8, 1985, Sims and his girlfriend Ruby Paget traveled to Glendale, California. They visited a local Domino's for directions to a drugstore, and later scouted a nearby Sears store to purchase a clothesline, socks, underwear, and a knife, items that later became instrumental in their crime. The next evening, at 11:03 p.m., a pizza order in a heavy Southern accent was placed for delivery to room 205 of the Regalage Motel. At 11:26 p.m., delivery driver John Harrigan departed for the delivery in his Domino's uniform. Around 11:45 p.m., Sims and Paget entered the Domino's parlor, Spiroff encountering them. Sims removed his sweater to reveal Harrigan's uniform shirt and name tag, grinning, "No, I don't think so," indicating premeditation and impersonation. Sims then brandished a gun, herded coworkers into a back office, instructed Paget to rob the cash drawers, and ordered wiping of surfaces to eliminate fingerprints. He then bound delivery drivers Corey Spiroff and Edward Sickham, placing them in a walk-in cooler, suspending them in a torturous manner, rope around their necks, forcing them to stand on tiptoes under threat. "Shut up. At least you live." Sims then departed at 12:15 a.m., leaving them at risk of slow death when the cooler opened the next morning. Officers arriving soon afterward discovered the injured and disoriented remaining employees and began investigating Harrigan's absence. Room 205, registered to Sims, contained Harrigan's bound corpse submerged in a bathtub of running cold water. He was hogtied, gagged, blindfolded, and strangled with ligatures consistent with the rope found in Sears the day prior. The state pathologist determined ligature strangulation as the cause of death, though drowning could not be entirely ruled out. Sims and Paget were arrested on December 25 in Las Vegas, following an anonymous tip. Authorities recovered a firearm under the mattress, a torn Domino's listing from a phone directory, a Los Angeles Times article detailing the murder, and the victim's truck nearby bearing the Domino's shirt and name tag. At the police station, Sims was advised of his Miranda rights and initially refused to waive them. Later he spoke, admitting, "I had to kill that boy. He would have identified me." On a second interview day, after again being Mirandized, he spoke further, detailing the trip from South Carolina, scouting activities, their actions prior to the attack, and his intention to hurt Domino's specifically. In a jury trial, Sims was convicted of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 3 counts of robbery. The jury found special circumstances: murder while lying in wait, and murder during the commission of a robbery. They also found he used a firearm in every offense. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection, a judgment later affirmed by the California Supreme Court in People v. Sims, 1993. Sims filed multiple appeals, including a federal habeas corpus petition. The Ninth Circuit affirmed the conviction and sentence in 2005, rejecting challenges regarding Miranda rights. jury selection, ineffective assistance of counsel, and Eighth Amendment arguments, ultimately upholding the original judgment in full. Sims's defense presented testimony regarding a traumatic and abusive upbringing. His stepfather, Arnold Cranford, was described as violent and sexually abusive. Sims allegedly suffered molestation and sexual assault at the hands of his stepfather as a child, with details too horrid to share here. Other family members, such as his sister and mother, provided their own accounts of Cranford's heinous and twisted ways. Each sibling cited their suicide attempts, including Sims, perhaps looking for a way out of Cranford's abuse. These testimonies provided some much-needed context for his psychological state during the crimes. Mitchell Carlton Sims's case remains a stark example of calculated and brutal violence, with clear motive rooted in resentment toward a former employer. His crimes, including murder, attempted murder, robbery, and impersonation, across 2 states, culminated in 1 death and severe trauma to others. In subsequent appeals, both state and federal courts affirmed the legality of his conviction and death sentence, finding no reversible error in procedure. What do you all think? Were his actions a result of psychological torment, or were they the aggravated results of a man so cold-blooded and remorseless he'd murder 3 with attempts to murder more?